Welcome, everybody, to another edition of I'll Hang Up and Listen. Sorry, I'm getting on here a little bit late. I apologize for that, but I wanted to make sure I got in here to give it a reaction to tonight's very depressing 5-1 loss to the Boston Bruins, a team next to Toronto. I just can't stand losing to. There's no other team in the league other than Toronto I can't stand losing to more than the Boston Bruins. For so many reasons, between the history of the two teams dating back to, obviously one of the moments that stands out the most is the Lucic hit on Miller. Comments that came afterwards between from Lucic in an interview to Ryan Miller calling him a piece of shit, and just players like Marchand and Chara. Just I hate the Bruins so much, and nobody I hate losing, but I hate losing to them. So, with that being said, just another night where the top storyline for Buffalo is goaltending. And Jesus Christ, can we get a save? Can we get a save? Like a timely save. It's just like it's mind blowing that you roll out Aaron. I mean, granted, your options are Dustin Tokarski and Aaron Dell. And as good as Tokarski has looked at times this season, he's no much better than an AHL goaltender. And, I would say, and I tweeted it out earlier, you could probably easily give this team 4 more wins this season if you got average NHL goaltending, which we haven't gotten at all. It's been pretty embarrassing, to say the least. Not saying tonight was one of those nights, but you get an early lead. You get a nice goal from Okposo after a big save from Dell. Go up 1-0, and then literally 3 minutes later, it's 2-1. And the end of the first period, it's 4-1. And then, of course, the icing on the cake, for this, the misery that this game was. And just what last season was, is of course it's Taylor Hall goes to make it 5-1. So it was just not a good game, not a good showing from Buffalo. You can't blame it all on goaltending, but I don't know what, man. When you get a lead and you're a team like Buffalo who relies really on hard work and sticking to the system, and you don't have a ton of players that can make individual plays at an elite level, the way Boston has with Marchand, with Bergeron, with Pasternak, with McAvoy. You have those guys who out there who in a moment can put the team on his back and carry you. With the exception of maybe Rasmus Dahlin, who's not quite there yet. You don't have any of the guys like that in Buffalo. You just don't. And that's where you need your goalie to bail you out. And we just don't have that guy here in Buffalo right now. I'm not going to sit here and say that, Craig Anderson's that guy, but guy's 40 years old. Like you can't expect Craig Anderson to carry this team for, whenever he does come back for the remainder of the season, or for the majority of the rest of the season. Expect him to be the guy's like, hey man, if we're going to make a playoff push, it's really going to be on you. Like, no, you can't expect that from Craig Anderson. Like, there's very few goalies in the league right now that could come here right now with this team with this roster and put this team on their back and get them to the playoffs. Is it possible? Absolutely. But you have a very, I don't want to call us below average team. I really, really don't. But we are, and you just don't. The talent isn't there yet. It's coming. The talent is coming. You have JJ Peterka, you have Jack Quinn, you have Peyton Krebs. These guys who are performing so well in Rochester. Depending on who the goaltender is next year. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be UPL. I don't, honestly. I tweeted out earlier this week that, it might not be the most popular decision, but once he starts if he can start to get going again, UPL, it might be a guy you might want to look to trade, not maybe this year, but maybe next year, because when I think of the future of this team, I look at guys like Portillo and Devin Levi. I'm not thinking of UPL, because it's extremely difficult for any goaltender to come back from the injuries he's had, the double hip surgery, the lower body injuries. and he struggled to stay consistent at the AHL level. It's going to be just as difficult for him to stay consistent at the NHL level. So I have trouble. I have a lot of trouble seeing him as a franchise goaltender. Is it impossible? No, it's not. Absolutely, anything's possible. I think the talent is absolutely there. He has the size. He definitely has the talent. It's just going to be difficult for him to honestly be a consistent goaltender in the NHL when you already have a lot going against you, like the injuries. And that position is nothing to sneeze at mentally, man. If you can't stay right up here at all times, it's, and you start digging yourself a hole as a goaltender, it's a really difficult hole to climb out of. And like you said, we've seen him struggle to stay consistent in Rochester. He's had some really nice moments. I think he was, player of the week not too long ago. He posted some great numbers, and I'd like to see him continue to do that. So, but like I said, the reinforcements are coming, and I didn't even mention Owen Power's name yet. Owen Power, you would expect to be on this team next year, maybe even see a glimpse of him at the end of the season, depending on how Michigan does in the NCAA tournament. They make the Frozen Four. I'm not sure how the schedules align, if they win or lose, how much time he would have to play for Buffalo. I'm not 100% positive. So, with that being said, it's tough to call. But like I said, this team, the reinforcements are coming. Alex Tuck hasn't played a single game as a Buffalo Sabre yet. That guy is going to come in here. He's proud as shit to put on that jersey. And he's going to come here and he's going to go balls out every night. And he's going to do everything he can to help this team win. Because he's gonna wear that Sabre jersey with a ton of pride, a lot of pride. He's gonna take losing personally, wearing that jersey. Not that he did it with Vegas or Minnesota before that, but with that jersey especially, that means a lot for him to put that jersey on. So I could even see him wearing a letter next season without a doubt. I'm not saying captain, or he would at least, in my opinion, get an A. With that being said, though, again, just a really tough loss tonight for the Buffalo Sabres. The goal scorer, the lone goal scorer for Buffalo was Kyle Okposo. Nice shot off the half wall. Believe it went short side. Used Bergeron as a screen. Nice play. Shot the puck between his legs. Caught Swayman off guard, and it was a real nice goal. Assist went to Rasmus Asplund, who has 12 points in 19 games. I believe he had 14 points in his first 57. So against a guy that you look at under Don Granato, who has really, been reborn by Donnie Meatballs, amongst other players, amongst your Tage Thompson, your Casey Middlestat. Colin Miller has sneaky been a very good player for this team. I believe he sits at 9 or 10 points in the season, which, we saw what Rasmus Ristolainen got on the trade market as a right-handed defenseman. I believe, I'm looking it up right now, I believe he is also a right-handed defenseman. Yes, he shoots right. We know how much that's valued. And if this guy keeps up to the pace he's playing at right now, come trade deadline, that could be like a 35, 40-point player. I think at the deadline, there are teams willing to pay a premium for a right-handed shot defenseman. And you could see a guy like him fetch you a first-round pick. I'm not kidding you. If he keeps playing this well. Right now, again, 2 goals, 2 goals, 9 assists for 11 points on the season so far in 18 games. I'm pretty sure that leads all Sabres defensemen. Has an even plus minus at 0. So, again, plus minus isn't the best way to judge a player, but he's played very well this season. I can't stress enough how good he's been for this team. And he's acted as a leader, for these younger players when he was paired up with Bryson. He looked great with Bryson. I think that might have been with Robert Hagg tonight. I think. So he's been very steady and consistent for Buffalo, and he dropped the gloves today. And you kind of saw it early in the game. He was in a really kind of like a feisty mood. He was in a lot of extracurricular stuff, and when he dropped the gloves of Foligno, I wasn't surprised at all that it was him. And the refs kind of broke that up early, to dismay of fans, unfortunately. That could have been like the highlight of the night for as a Sabres fan down at KeyBank Center. Just not, again, you went up early, for the first like half of the first period. You really had Boston on their heels, and then you give up 2 quick goals. That second one, I believe, right up over Dell's shoulder, where he dropped and just gave up that entire short side, and just that was bad. That was really bad. You got to make that save as an NHL goaltender from that far out. I want to say that goal scorer might have been Charlie Coyle. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm checking right now, but I believe that was Charlie Coyle. Let's check here. Goal scorers, yep, Charlie Coyle, a goal and assist tonight. Other goal scorers for the Bruins night, along with Coyle, were Bergeron. Pasternak had a really nice goal on the power play from his spot on the one-timer. Taylor Hall, and Riley. So, the Bruins are just a great hockey team. They go 10-6-0 in the season, while Buffalo falls to 7-10-2, dropping their 4th in a row. They haven't won since I believe it was that game against Pittsburgh. And they had a heartbreaker against the Rangers 5-4, where they lost with 0.4 seconds left. And it's really just been, really bad since then. Hopefully they can bounce back on Friday against the Montreal Canadiens, another team that struggled quite a bit this season. I do believe we will have Andrew Berkshire from the Steve Dangle Podcast Network on with us. That's going to be pretty exciting as like a preview show. And make sure you check that episode out too, because we've already had on Cam Robinson from Elite Prospects. He had a lot of cool and interesting stuff to say about what's to come for Buffalo in Rochester, and from Owen Power at Michigan, and Eric Portillo. He had a lot of nice things to say about the Sabres, and we touched on a lot of stuff. So be sure to check that out for episode 78. That's already recorded too. That'll be brought to you along with our preview of the Montreal game. I'm excited about that. So listen, guys, I'll hang up and listen. It's, again, not the best of efforts tonight from Buffalo. I want to say it was for a lack of effort, but when you're playing up against a team as skilled and as elite talent like the Boston Bruins, I mean, you can't afford to make mistakes, especially in net. And you did not get any favors from Aaron Dell tonight in that first period, man. He put you in a hole that you just could not dig yourself out of. And Jeremy Swayman handed it to him. Guy played well enough. He didn't have a crazy busy night, 24 saves and 25 shots. And the only goal came against with Kyle Okposo so early in the first period. And again, you just can't give up goals in bunches the way Buffalo did and expect to win hockey games. And with a team as good as the Bruins, they're going to lock things down once they get a lead and not give up too many chances. When you get a lead, you got to try and build on that, and you need your goalie to bail you out with some saves here and there. Aaron Dell wasn't able to do that. Dustin Kokarski, again, as nice as he's been in a few games here and there in spot duty since Craig Anderson's got hurt, he's not that guy either. I believe Elliot Friedman on 32 Thoughts mentioned that some guys that Buffalo could be after would be Braden Holtby, former Stanley Cup winning goaltender when he was with Washington. He might be available now that Ottinger is kind of taken over the net, I believe is in Dallas. Koskinen was another name thrown around out there. I'm not against any of those names, man, because again, I don't think UPL is ready even next year. We'll see. Again, you guys already know my thoughts on that. I mentioned earlier. So I would maybe hold off on that and go find a legitimate starting goaltender, a veteran, even if it's for 1 year for next season, or maybe even this season. I don't know. I mean, again, it is what it is this year. This team is showing us that on its own, apart from goaltending, they're good enough to compete with any team in this league. They have wins against really good hockey teams in this league so far. So it's not it's not out of the realm of possibility that you're going to see them continue to compete and continue to win games. And I've said it a bunch of times in this show, really grind out a lot of loser points this season. I could see that as well because they're just going to outwork a lot of teams. They will. They absolutely will. Because of that hard work ethic, they're fun to watch again. I enjoy watching them play. So with that being said, it's you're really a goaltender away from goaltender and maybe just one or two pieces away from being a team that's going to compete for a playoff spot right now. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to sit here and hold my breath right now until you have actual NHL level goaltending. I agree. Arsenio Arias, can we get a timely save? Amen. Hallelujah. Tokarski and Deller, AHL caliber goaltending. I agree with you. Absolutely. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, Mauricio Arenas. I 100% agree with you. You have AHL level goaltending right now. That's not going to be good enough. You need an NHL level goaltender to come in here and really help carry you. And we just don't have that right now. It's embarrassing to say the least. You could easily add 4 wins to this team's record if you had NHL level goaltending, and you could be looking at a record that's 11-6-2 right now rather than 7-10-2. It sucks. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Again, guys, next game will be again Friday night with Andrew Berkshire from the Steve Dangle Podcast Network. He'll be joining me, hopefully Cully as well, to preview that game against the Montreal Canadiens right after Thanksgiving, after we're all pretty fat and hearty. I'm looking forward to tomorrow too. I hope you guys are too. Absolutely looking forward to my aunt and uncle's traditional Thanksgiving dinner. My aunt, I love rolls. I love buttered rolls, and I'll probably go through 10 of them tomorrow. And whatever desserts they make, I'm excited. So, and then the following day, that day we had the Bills against New Orleans Saints. Hopefully the Bills can get back into their winning ways after an embarrassing loss to the Colts. And then the very next night, the Buffalo Sabres versus the Montreal Canadiens. Again, I said we'll have Andrew Berkshire on from the Steve Dangle Podcast Network to preview that, talk about the Sabres season so far, talk about the Montreal Canadiens season so far. And just the struggles of both organizations right now. I know there's a lot of smoke around Mark Bergevin and whether or not he's going to have a job here anymore because from a team to fall from being a Stanley Cup finalist, I know they've dealt with a lot of injury issues. Obviously, you weren't expecting to not have Carey Price to start the season. You've possibly lost Shea Weber permanently. He may be forced to retire with these issues he's having, and then just a lot of players not performing as well as you hope or as you expected them to do. Romanoff, Tyler Toffoli, Cole Caulfield, I think he was brought back up, and he actually scored tonight, I believe. So, just a lot of stuff to talk about both organizations, both the Sabres and the Montreal Canadiens, following up after this 5-1 loss to the Bruins. You know what? Maybe Kevin Adams is finally looking at goaltenders right now. Hopefully he has been, because I just, I get it. I know what this season is. I understand what this season is. It's about building for the future. That's why you're allowing that's why you're not constantly on the waiver wire bringing players in. That's why you're not constantly trying to improve your team in the trade market right now. You're trying to let these kids play and earn their keep on this hockey team. And you're seeing it. I said that before. Rasmus Asplund, 14 points in 19 games. The kid's playing phenomenally with the opportunity he's been given. Tage Thompson is night and day the player he was. And that's just a lot of testament to Don Granato and the system, and what he's able to get out of these players. Casey Middlestat, who I haven't mentioned yet, he was back on the ice this morning at the morning skate with the boys, and you hope his return is coming soon. That's going to help this team a lot, because it's going to give you a lot more flexibility to move guys up and down the lineup. In my opinion, Casey's probably your best center. This is my opinion. As well as Tage has played, I think Casey's probably your best 200-foot centerman right now. And that's no knock against Tage Thompson or Dylan Cousins. I truly believe he's going to bring, a different look to your lineup every night, and he's going to give you a lot more flexibility once he's back. And then, way further down the load, Alex Tuck, which is going to be a huge, huge, huge addition, not just in size, but just his ability on the ice to score and play a 200-foot game and play a heavy game. I'm excited to see him in a Sabres jersey. And like we said before, he's going to play with a ton of pride for the Buffalo Sabres, a team that he grew up loving to watch, as he stated before. So, once you get those guys back, you're going to have a really different look with this lineup. But it really is going to begin, with finding a goaltender, not named Craig Anderson, that could really carry the load for you if you want to win games. And again, I understand what this season is, giving the younger kids opportunities, and they've really done well. Look at Kyle Okposo. I'm not saying the guy was reborn under Granato, but he's played very well. Dylan Cousins has played very well. Jacob Bryson, who has been a big surprise this season. I know we saw glimpses of him last season, but he's been a huge surprise for this team this year. Jeff Skinner's scoring, at a, we would hope a 20-plus goal rate again, right now. I believe, as I look here, Jeff Skinner has 5 goals and 5 assists for 10 points in 19 games. Obviously, we've seen him play at a much better pace before, but considering where he was at, last year to this year, I'll take that. And, when you don't have an elite playmaking center on this team right now, I'll take 10 points in 19 games right now from Jeff Skinner. Other players that have really performed well too. Victor Olofsson is a perfect example of what Don Granato brings as a coach. He's turned into a complete player. Last year, the year before that, big knock on Victor Olofsson was he can only perform in the power play. It's horrible in 5-on-5. The numbers and the Corsi and it all shows that's not the case anymore for Victor Olofsson. He's looked phenomenal, in my opinion, playing for Don Granato. And, he's a player that can be relied on in other situations outside of the power play to provide points for you, to provide on the score sheet for you. So he's another example of what Don Granato and what a good coach can do for a team. So I won't hold you up, guys, any longer. I'll hang up and listen. Just remember, this is brought to you by Outlet Liquor, the place to buy a case on Jordan Boulevard. Make sure you get over there for all your, your game day or game night needs whenever you want to enjoy some adult beverages. Whenever I, go to my boy Greg Day's house and hang out with Al Shoop from Trainwreck Sports, always make a stop over at Outlet Liquor. Pick up a few cases of brews and enjoy the game, whether it's a Sabres or a Bills game. So, guys, I'll hang up and listen. I hope you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving. Eat hearty. Enjoy your time with your friends and family. Maybe you're having a Friendsgiving. Enjoy it. Go Bills tomorrow. Hopefully they get back in their winning ways and get a big win against the Saints. And then let's go Sabres.